Well, let me greet all of you, my colleagues on the panel, and to my constituents, the good people of Bolgatanga. They've been excited that they are seeing me today because it's been a while since I've appeared in these type of programs. But once the budget is out,
we have to hear from Honorable Adongo.
That's where my bread is buttered, and I do a lot of that with my colleague who is assisting me to get some of the laws that are required to enable the government to implement the budget. Sure. And I do believe that he and his team will continue to give us the support that they've always given us. Mm-hmm. And he's one of those rising young men on the committee, and I commend him for the work he's doing. To be honest, what has happened is a national tragedy. Mm. And our heart goes out to the bereaved families, and we pray that those who are injured would get the favor of God to recover quickly. But I want to say that as a country, we are not learning. We are not learning because everywhere in the world, when you undertake these kind of critical exercises, there is always a stage where you sit back and reflect. You sit back and evaluate what has happened. And we've been doing recruitment for all these years. And if the military, as one of the best institutions for planning and executing projects, I will be surprised that they don't have an evaluation mechanism to inform lessons for some of these things. So like my honorable colleague said, over the years, if we have been learning and evaluating, we would have noticed that this has been long in coming. That we've gotten away just by dint of luck. It's not because we have done anything right. Because we are not learning the lessons. Everything shows that the previous numbers were even bigger. Mm-hmm. I mean, 90,000 across the country. Obviously, Elwa could have been bigger. But because we were lucky to go out unscarred, we thought that that was a perfect system. And therefore, we didn't learn the lessons to inform future events of that nature. And I think that is a weakness that we need to fix, not just in the military, but anywhere we are doing some work to improve the lives of our people. We must have at the back of your mind that at the end of this exercise, we must learn some lessons and be better at it the next time. And I think that is where we have failed as a country. And cumulatively, we have tended to be complacent because we are not seeing this happen. And it's unfortunate that as a country, we only wait to lose a life before we tend to think right. And I think that that is a weakness that we need to address going forward. Even though it will not bring back our compatriots who have passed, I'm sure they will be happy that as a result of their passing, the country learns lessons and doesn't go back to the same experience in future. And we owe it to them to ensure that that happens. The other thing I would like to say is that, of course, nothing can bring back those compatriots. Nothing can soothe the family. So whatever gesture the government is giving is a gesture that is given not because it will bring back the bereaved families and restore them, but it is a gesture to say that there may be somebody who could step in and provide livelihood through this exercise to support the family. And if that is possible, let's do it. But I believe that the committee that has put together to investigate this may make recommendations that border on the adequacy of whatever packages that we are giving to them. So let's wait and see what they will recommend to His Excellency the President through the Minister. I am one person who believes that as a country, whenever there is tragedy, we come together. But anytime things are working for us, we tend to forget that unity is the way to build this country. And you can see, even in Parliament, that we're united in grief. And the feeling was that we have failed our people. Unfortunately, we tend to politicize everything. And that makes people that we pay to, that has to change. Sometimes I sit and watch, say, Public Accounts Committee, and I see evidence of our country being melted, and we reduce it to politics. And the people who have mailed the country basically get away by identifying with the political system. And that is the bane of this country. And we need to begin to rethink. We need to rethink processes, and we need to rethink standard operating procedure for everything that we do, so that even before you start an exercise, everybody knows that this exercise goes through a set of possibilities, and that ETM mentality is why we are not improving. Why should the military and security services, and I'm being honest here, if you ask most of those people who were there when they were in school, the last thing they would have thought about is that they will queue to become members of the military or security services. It's because the system has failed to deliver the ambition that they had, and they need to keep body and soul together. They have had to settle for what originally was not their intention. But if we have to satisfy that of even for them, we must do that within an environment that is responsive to the circumstances. And Honorable Kabiru said something very striking. These are civilians. The fact that they want to enter the army doesn't make them military people. These are civilians, and they must be treated as civilians. So, if soldiers are comfortable sitting in the sun, civilians cannot be made to sit in the sun. Okay, wait until they come there for your training, then you can do whatever you want to with them. But in the meantime, they are civilians and must be treated as such. But if you see what was going on, if you're a parent and your child is out of school, the numbers is derived from the budget. The numbers is derived from the budget. We approved the budget in December for implementation in the ensuing year. Why do we have to wait till November?
Then we do one big recruitment exercise.
Exactly. Why can't we have an ongoing exercise? If a person is shortlisted in the system, why don't we have a system that says that today we are looking at a certain number of people, and what we are going to do, if you enter this center, we have an agency that is going to give us all the information we need about you for the military. Even though it is supervised by the military has certified that that institution or individual or organization is capable of providing the level of evidence that the military needs to proceed with the process. Otherwise, if you look at the people who were sitting, how many military people were you finding there?